A couple days ago, popular speedrunning analyst YouTuber Karl Jobst lost a defamation lawsuit against Billy Mitchell, an infamous figure in gaming history who has long been accused of cheating. For people following this lawsuit casually or passively, many believed this was over the cheating accusations and thought that this would be an easy dunk for Karl. However, once the details of the case concluded and a lot more eyeballs started looking into it, it had nothing to do with what the masses thought that it did. Welcome to the internet versus Karl Jobst and Billy Mitchell's lawsuit. To start, we'll rewind to just a day before the case, when Karl tweets out, "Win or lose tomorrow, I am proud that I never backed down and never allowed a bully to control my free expression. The amount of support I have had over the past 4 years has been tremendous, and not only have you helped me to defend myself in the best way possible, but you've also made this process much easier on my family, for which I will forever be grateful. Whatever happens, we will continue moving forward, and no fear of tyrants will ever stop me to doing what I believe to be right. Here's hoping tomorrow brings good news." And then Damaged Sector replies with this poll, which I think accurately represents how most of the internet felt that this case was going to end up, where he asks who is going to win, and with nearly 4,000 votes, Karl Jobst came out with 93%. He then tweeted out a link to the live stream which the decision was held on, and then shortly after the decision was announced, Karl Jobst tweeted out, "I lost. The judge found Billy to be a credible witness and believed his entire testimony. From that point on, unfortunately, there was really nothing that could have saved me. I will now obviously consider my options. I know many of you will be upset with this, and I am sorry for that. Thank you again for all the support I have received, and I will endeavor to work as hard as I can to repay all that you are owed." However, this post then got community noted, where it says, "Jobst was unable to defend at least 5 separate claims he made in his videos about Billy Mitchell. The legal challenge primarily contested videos which implied Mitchell's prior behavior and legal actions may have contributed to the self-ending of YouTuber Apollo Legend," and it attaches a link to the court documents for the District Court of Queensland with the judgment and such. Repsion replies, "Maybe don't imply somebody caused somebody else to end themselves. Seems like you put yourself in this situation." Davy Braid says, "I'm just now learning that the lawsuit was about Apollo. This is crazy." Craig replies, "The judge made it a point to draw attention to your arrogance throughout the trial, and now you're phrasing things as if the judge believed lies told by Mitchell and that he was out to get you. You defamed the guy and made a false claim, and you lost. It's that simple." Daco quote tweets Karl Jobst with this screenshot in the caption, "He's already trying to get that money back," and it shows a comment that Karl Jobst uploaded on his most recent upload, which is now deleted, where he said, "Today, the judge sided with Billy Mitchell and I lost my defamation lawsuit. I will explain what happened in a video shortly and explain everything. Hopefully this will not affect this channel. Play this game now with my links and get a massive free bonus pack including vehicles, boosters, and more on PC and consoles," and then links to the sponsorship. Gamma quote tweets Karl Jobst by saying, "This is so bad. Karl Jobst probably took the largest L on YouTube in a while and is owning it. He's not being too straightforward about the situation though. This is such an awful display. Obfuscating the situation, misleading his audience, all that bravado on his videos too." Logan replies, "I understand why he didn't talk about it specifically. Would be hard to without farther defaming. But he should have at least given more context that there was things he couldn't talk about that were more important." And Gamma replies, in a comment he says, "This isn't worth going to court over, lol. This indirectly implies that he wanted to go to court for the cheating claims, at least per my inference." Then attaches a screenshot from the court documents, which say that on June 6, 2021, Mr. Jobst posted a comment on his YouTube channel. In an apparent response to a comment asking if the mention of Apollo Legend's self-ending had been cut from the video, Mr. Jobst said, "Yes, I removed it. Not because I don't believe anything that was said, but because Billy wants to sue me for it, and that particular segment isn't worth going to court over." And then a day later on June 7th, Mr. Mitchell's Australian solicitors sent a concerns notice to Mr. Jobst about the original video, and Mr. Jobst's reaction was to post this tweet, "Billy Mitchell's lawyer has contacted me. This is very exciting, lol. We go to war soon. This will be an amazing experience. Can't wait to share it with you all." And then it continues saying that on June 13th, Apollo Legend's brother, Jesse, sent Mr. Jobst an email responding to his email on June 4th, and Jesse said that from what he could tell, Apollo Legend had not paid Mr. Mitchell any money. Consequently, on the same day, Mr. Jobst again edited the video to remove the following words. Those words being, "He was forced to remove all his videos about Mitchell's cheating and paid him a large sum of money. This left him deeply in debt. which required him to find, and then the screenshot is cut off. And then Logan replies, yeah, it seems like he knew he fucked up and wanted to shift the focus of the case. Adzi quote tweets Karl Jobst and says, I'm a fan of Karl, but holy shit, he really misrepresented what this lawsuit was about this whole time. If you only watched his coverage of the situation, you'd be left believing it was about the Billy Mitchell cheating allegations. It wasn't. It was about Apollo Legends self-ending. I really do like Karl, but this was so dishonest. I don't know that he can be trusted with serious matters anymore. I think the worst part about this whole thing is that if he was honest about what this lawsuit was, I probably still would have been on his side. Sure, it's not as cut and dry, but I consider the alleged defamatory statements to be opinion and speculation. Willie Mac Show also quote tweets Karl saying that he didn't know this was what the thing was for, continuing like, bruh, what did you think would happen? Out of all the videos Karl posted on Billy, I never knew this. Kassane Territory tweets out, Karl Jobst is a complete and total dipshit who basically lied about what the defamation case was about. Straight up, it didn't tell us that he accused Billy Mitchell of being the reason Apollo Legend ended himself when we know in extreme detail why Apollo did that. Replying here to make it extremely clear that I do not actually think Dark Viper AU and Easyscape are guilty of ending Apollo Legend. My point is that we know exactly who Apollo said ended him because of his note/video, and Billy wasn't the guy named. Arcadia replies, Billy is a piece of shit, dumbfuck, corrupt cheater, and I don't think he should have won this case. But Karl is extremely fucking incompetent and lied about this case the whole time. And Kassane says, you have boiled down my points to its bare essentials. Thank you for understanding. I'm worried that people think I'm pro Billy and all this, but I can't stand the fucking guy either. If both of them could have lost somehow, I would have preferred that. Valdish replies the original post by saying, it's just baffling that he would do this kind of stuff when all it does is give Billy credibility while destroying his own. He absolutely should have known how bad it could backfire. And Kassane says he literally couldn't help himself. Like, even with the completionist thing, Gerard was absolutely in the wrong, but he milked it for like 2 months because he absolutely can't handle not hearing the sound of his own voice. Then Drama Alert tweets out a couple more details about the case when they say, Karl Jobst forced to pay roughly 395,000 Australian dollars and legal fees in defamation case against Billy Mitchell. Mudry Bread replies, to the people who are saying you felt misled, did you follow the trial at all? He never claimed it was about Billy cheating in video games. It was always about the Apollo Legends stuff. I still think the judgment was awful and Karl shouldn't have lost, but no one misled you. TK's Mantis replies, bro, I followed every video Karl put out. Not once was Apollo mentioned. This take sucks, homie. And Mudry Bread responds, he literally has Billy Mitchell on screen explaining what the lawsuit is about in his own words. Every day of the trial, it was very clear what it was about. And he attaches this clip.
Okay, but time went on, and eventually, without a single source, except a now deleted post on Reddit, now deleted post, was his only source where he blamed me for taking the life of another human being and for what I did to him. And I said, that's it.
Billy Mitchell is referring to the YouTuber Apollo Legend, who tragically took his own life in December of 2020. I won't go into specifics about this particular point because it does relate to his ongoing lawsuit against me. But again, everything he just said is a lie. I didn't say what he claims that I said, and my source for what I did say was not just a deleted post on Reddit. Billy knows all of my sources because I gave them to him as part of the proceedings. And once the lawsuit is over, which should be hopefully very soon, all of the details will be made public.
What kind of person am I, even to my family, if I would allow someone to do that unanswered?
I will show you exactly the kind of person Billy Mitchell is. As part of the legal proceedings against Twin Galaxies, text messages were made public between Billy and other people. These messages showed that in March of 2018, Billy thought that Apollo Legend had died. Of course, that didn't end up being true, but let's see how Billy reacted to this news. In his messages to Carlos Pinheiro, who was helping to defend Billy at the time, Billy says, "My wife found online, Apollo Legend is dead, no joke." To which Carlos responds, "What? Oh my god." Billy says, "If it is true, I will not shed a tear. I will try my very hardest not to smile or giggle."
That creepy reading replies, to be fair, when you paint Billy Mitchell as a liar and a manipulator and then have him explaining why he's doing something, it kinda leads to a grain of salt being taken. I definitely feel like more could have been done on his part to explain what this was about. Karl then addresses a lot of this backlash when he tweets out, "There are a lot of lies being spread that I falsely claimed Billy sued me because I said he cheated. I never claimed this. I only claimed it was relevant relevant as part of my defense. I didn't openly discuss certain details for obvious reasons, but I was never trying to hide why I was being sued. He then attaches the link to the video that we just looked at. In this video, I fully allow Billy to explain why he's suing me, and I specifically state that I chose not to go into too much detail because it related to the ongoing lawsuit. Furthermore, I never asked for money when Billy originally sued me. It was only after he sent me a second lawsuit and a threat of a third lawsuit, which were completely unrelated, that I needed to crowdfund. My total legal costs are well over $600,000, so any money I received went to my lawyers. I did not intentionally try to deceive anyone or trick anyone just to defraud them or scam them out of money. But the criticism that I should have been more transparent is valid, and I'm sorry. Truthfully, I didn't want to repeat or mention any claims regarding Apollo Legend because it may have jeopardized my defense. I never intentionally lied regarding Apollo Legend either. I relied on incorrect information from multiple sources. I retracted the statements once I confirmed it was inaccurate, but apparently it was not sufficient. At some point, of course, I will produce a video discussing everything, and I still believe the decision today was not the correct one. Andy Worski replies, I wouldn't say people are lying. You were not clear about what you were being sued for. From all the videos I have watched over the years and rewatched today, it seemed like you were being sued for bringing up the cheating. About 99% of the videos are about the cheating, and the Apollo stuff was a quick aside that wasn't even explained. This isn't a case of people lying, but you were not being clear about what the case was actually about. Cool Hand James replies to Karl by saying, I never lied. I should have been more transparent. Two sentences when said together suggest dishonesty. Damaged Sector replies to Karl by saying, the problem is the word cheating or cheater was mentioned in pretty much every video on your funding page. I checked the video and it was mentioned Apollo was part of the lawsuit, but I never saw that video and many other people didn't as well, or failed to pick up on a point that was basically otherwise not mentioned elsewhere. Cheating was also brought up in that video. Also, people knew there were other lawsuits he threatened but didn't follow through with. How do you expect so many people to know one of them wasn't the Apollo claims? I get it's your life and you know all these details, but it's very difficult for people not related / affected by this case to know this. Many big YouTubers who cover this kind of stuff didn't even know everything and thought it was about cheating as well. It's understandable why so many people thought this lawsuit was about cheating and why many were confused when they heard that you lost. So while you didn't lie, the whole thing about not wanting to generally talk about / mention the Apollo claims is what caused people to feel misled, even if unintentionally. Nicholas DiOrio replies to Karl Jobst by saying, I don't think there was any malicious intent here on your part. You seem genuinely passionate about the things you covered on your channel, and you've been one of the best at exposing cheaters for years. It really fucking sucks how this all went down, as I really don't believe you intentionally set out to defame Billy. It's really unfortunate that the Apollo misinformation will be a costly black mark on your otherwise stellar content creation career, but it's also a warning to guys like me not to get carried away. On your channel, you have made tons of videos exposing Billy above board for lies that are better researched and verifiable. I don't personally see what incentive you'd have to just make an out-of-character lie with the intent to harm him, especially pre-lawsuit. Ultimately though, intent aside, this was your mistake and it's up to you to accept the consequences with grace or go in a different direction. As for the disclosure, I think a lot of people lost track of what your lawsuit was mainly focused on due to the nature of the content you make being obviously more gaming-centric. It felt odd at times with how much you could seemingly disclose and discuss openly on video. It didn't help that the other lawsuit that was gaming record centric was also going on simultaneously for much of the coverage. I don't think you set out to mislead, but even I lost track over time as to what exactly you were doing. Anyways, I hope you're well. Bud Monkey replies to Nick by saying, if he was lying about this, what about all the stuff with the completionist? How much of that was he lying about, since wasn't he the one that said a source came to him with the info on him? And Nick replies, I like the implication that you're like a goldfish and completely unable to engage with any of this content with critical thinking. Even now, as you become more skeptical, you're asking other people about this instead of just going to research it. Mo replies to Nick by saying, this is mostly a really good post. The issue is the Apollo stuff was a massive deal in the speedrunning community and everybody knew the people who were named. It's just genuinely hard for people who knew the ins and outs to accept he really didn't know with his proximity to it. And Nick replies, the issue is the people he named didn't and him either. And Mo says, I agree, but Karl framed the narrative disingenuously and that's where he got torched. Despite having full knowledge of the Apollo stuff, trying to say he didn't know isn't gonna fly when he was on the ground with the story from when Apollo was alive. And Nick replies, what is full knowledge defined as here? Read a self-ending note? He spoke to Apollo's family before editing out his section. I think that's the reasonable bar for full knowledge. You act like it's outrageous to be informed about the settlement and how a lawsuit could have affected this man's final days. Karl was wrong, and he showcased poor journalism, but nothing here implicates him, in my opinion, with genuine malice and intent to harm Billy knowingly with false statements. That's the distinction I'm making. Then, after the verdict, Billy Mitchell tweets out, nothing like the smell of victory in the evening air, and and Billy Mitchell always has a plan. And PPP replies, "You are the king of gaming. Never let these bastards get you down. Huge W, King. All hail. Suffer, Jobst." And finally, "Thank you to everyone who supported me. I am grateful." John Campbell tweets out, "Karl Jobst lost because he called Billy a murderer with no evidence. The cheating was background context, and then tried to mislead everyone about what the case was about. You fucked up, Karl Jobst, big time," and attaches this minute-long clip of the judge giving his verdict.
To be clear, I was not required to decide, nor did I decide, whether Mr. Mitchell had in fact cheated in gaining any of his world record scores. Mr. Jobst did not attempt to prove that that finding by Twin Galaxies was correct. Notwithstanding these findings, I have concluded that the defamatory imputations made by Mr. Jobst that are the subject of Mr. Mitchell's claim have caused substantial additional damage to Mr. Mitchell's reputation and have caused him considerable additional distress. Therefore, Mr. Jobst is liable to pay damages to Mr. Mitchell for those defamatory imputations. I shall come shortly to the amount of those damages.
Poorly Aged Things tweets out a picture of a Karl Jobst video, the one with the title "Cheater Billy Mitchell just keeps losing," and the thumbnail saying "The end is near." And Jacob replies, "On God, if I posted shitting on a guy for 5 years and then lost my lawsuit against him, you'd never see my face in the internet again." Obscure Reference quote tweets this and says, "I hate to spread hate, but I'm glad people are going to start seeing Karl Jobst for the grifter that he's been for many years now." And William replies, "What else has he done to make him a grifter? I genuinely don't know. But yeah, he always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I think it's the way he talks. I do like some of his content though." And Obscure replies, "My main other thing was how him and Muda handled the entire completionist controversy. Just poor handling all around, and they got to walk away while saying a lot of stupid shit. Karl specifically continued to make videos well after it resolved." And Captain Comes replies, "Can you explain what the problem was with the coverage? It always felt overly harsh from them and like they were accusing him of stealing the money when what he actually did was simply not donate it right away. But I could be wrong." And Obscure replies, "Like you said, they were overly harsh on him. Additionally, they accused him of breaking the law despite neither being Americans. And when they got told it was common for charities to withhold the money so they could make a larger contribution with more control, they disregarded that thought. Additionally, Karl mentioned that it was weird to donate a body, so Gerard brought up why, and when he did, Karl said that he never mentioned it, and was confused why Gerard mentioned it. Karl and Muda made about 9 videos total, some of which were over an hour long. They covered it way too much with next to no response from Gerard." And Osu replies, "Making a lot of videos about it isn't a bad thing. Gerard and his family were at fault." Wavy Websurf tweets out, "Yeah, you're having a shit week, but at least you're not Karl Jobst." And so we're still looking for a response from Karl. I'm sure he will have a lot to say when he finally posts an update video. He ended up putting out an unrelated video on his channel, which just got a bunch of backlash because it wasn't directly related to the case, and now he has taken that down. However, when we get an update, we'll let you guys know. Shout out to Kiko, our first internet representative. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you next episode.